Thanks once again for joining us here at Chopping It Up for another mini episode of Prime Cuts. This week we're examining the 2025 horror television series Revival. The series is based loosely on a comic book by the same name, which was written by Tim Seeley and Mike Norton. The show, by creators Luke Boyce and Aaron Kuntz, is situated squarely in the supernatural horror vein. The premise surrounds local Wausau, Wisconsin police officer Dana Cypress as she tries to make sense of the townsfolk dying and miraculously coming back to life. Consequently, these people are deemed revivers, hence the name of the show. If you're interested in watching this series, it's now available for viewing via Peacock. And as a reminder, Prime Cuts is designed as a quick-hitting, free-form conversation where we discuss a breadth of horror mediums, including anthologies, theatrical releases, graphic novels, shorts, and other forms of media. There is no set agenda here, as we shoot from the hip and provide any gleaned insights from our respective viewings. All right, Jeannie, I know I suggested this one to the crew, but I don't think anyone else had seen it previously. So what did you think?
At first, the characters, I was like, oh, they're annoying. Like the dad sheriff and then the daughter, like policewoman.
Yeah.
I was just annoyed by them. I don't know if it was like the acting or my mood or what, but then I did kind of get into it, and then I was like, okay. I think the lead detective, the single mom, she kind of still bugs
Dana.
me.
Yeah, Dana.
Yeah, she kind of still bugs me.
Is it her super thin lips? I don't know. She's very sharp and angular. I don't know. It's like severe. She's severe.
She's just kind of, I think, playing that trope, right? She's like the trope of like the single mom, badass police woman that doesn't
somehow
really follow the rules.
Right, but somehow can't also get her own shit together.
Yeah.
You know, she's like trying to pull a guy to just to bang at the bar and she's falling apart. But you know what? That trope's not just a woman. That's every cop procedural trope ever, right? With all the men,
Right.
The guy can't get himself together. He's on his third
Yep.
marriage. You know, he's an
Yep.
alcoholic, but he somehow can, crack the case for everything.
Yes.
So it's not unique to her, I don't think.
Yeah. But then I was kind of digging it. I kind of like I like the concept of them coming back to life and they're completely fine. Right?
Yep.
Like they're not like zombies. So it's a play on like zombies. Like they're not.
It's so funny. So that's how I came to it because I didn't know anything about it either. I hadn't read anything about it or heard it. But I someone was telling me about it. And so like I looked it up and it says, and wherever I looked it up, that it's I think it used the word zombie, or maybe it just said these people died and came back to life, but it didn't say anything past that. So I automatically presumed zombie, which, is my jam. Like I was like, oh, great, cool. This will be great.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, this was back in, I think the show ran from like 2014 to 2018, 3 or 4 seasons, called The Leftovers. You ever hear of that?
Yes, I think I might have started it.
So the guy who is Jennifer Aniston's husband or ex-husband, I don't know, Justin Theroux.
Yes.
That guy. So he was the main guy in that. Does that ring a bell? So he plays a cop in that who's also the townsfolk there in Leftovers disappear, right? For like a month or longer and then reappear. And like, I can't remember if they have any recollection of where they were, but the whole, he's like conducting an investigation to like these people who came back or who did or are still gone or whatever. It sort of was like a off rhyme of this, which as I understand it is based loosely on that comic book series that I referenced, but I liked it too. They don't come back. It's not standard stuff.
Right.
And they have no recollection of how they pass. So for those who haven't seen, and I mean, we're gonna give you spoilers. So, but it's only for the first episode. I haven't watched any further than that yet. I think there's 3 or 4 episodes out so far.
Yeah.
Is that in about I think it's a 30-day period? Did they say? So only people who pass away from like point A to point B, which is I think the last 30 days in this town in Wisconsin, die and then come back. They're revived. They have no recollection of how they passed. They're not zombified per se. They are seemingly normal, but obviously the government's intervened. They've quarantined the town. No one can come or go. No one can leave. And I assume down the line in this season that we're going to get the, we're going to get the scientists in there to test people and figure out what it is. And I think we have
the ET treatment.
Yeah, the ET tree. We have what's his name? Who Dana, the police officer, the
Yeah.
protagonist, Dr. Ibrahim Ramin. Um, she tries to seduce him at the bar, not knowing who he is, and he's such a nice guy. I actually maybe I misread that. They're in the car, and she's just like, let's just fuck, and he's like,
Yeah, she takes him
he's
from the bar.
yeah, but he's like resist like he's scared. I don't know. He's scared. He's like, whoa, maybe we should like talk. Do you remember? She's like jumping on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, so this is, we're
Yeah.
doing this. This is what we're going to do. She's like so alpha and he's so intimidated. And they don't actually sleep together. She forgets about it. And then as she finds out, come to find out, he's one of the guys who is sort of spearheading this
Yeah, he's from the
investigation.
CDC.
Yeah, for
CDC.
CDC. So we're going to
Yeah.
get a lot of that down the line. But so that's a burgeoning romance that they're going to reset, I think.
Yeah.
But she's also got the other interesting character. One of the mains is her younger sister M,
Yes.
right? Who doesn't have her shit together, is into drugs, has a roommate. She's just
Dating her professor.
dating her married professor. I wouldn't even call it dating, right?
Yeah.
She's
It seems
whatever
like they
he's
did have something and he's trying to break it off, which then
right,
contributes to her breakdown and
right. And I guess it culminates. We have the climax toward the end of the first episode where um, Dana finds out that M is a reviver. That she is actually.
yeah. I couldn't remember what he was saying about the injury. Like I noticed her injury healed itself, spoiler alert,
Mhm.
but I can't remember what um the scientists had said about who what type of people do that.
What do you mean? What type of people do what?
So is it the revivers that
Yeah, the revivers, they can't be injured anymore. Like their wounds heal almost
gotcha.
instantaneously,
Okay.
right?
So then
Because
that's
yeah, so and that's so the reveal is how that's done is, well, first we know that M wakes up like on a park bench, on an overlook of a river somewhere,
yeah.
that her sister, the police officer, happens to be going through en route to, further this investigation. And she's like, what are
Mhm.
you doing? She knows her sister's such a fuck up. It's
Yeah.
very likely she could wake up somewhere from her drug induced haze, but turns out that's where she died. She either jumped off a bridge or drowned herself,
Okay.
or what I was getting from it, and it didn't lead us that way. I thought the professor that she was having an affair with, I thought he killed her because she, got hammered and like threatened to tell
Mhm.
his wife or something or ruin
Yeah.
his family. So I assume that's how she died. We don't know that yet, so there is no spoiler for that. And,
Yeah.
and so she ends up, her sister picks her up and takes her with her while she's, investigating, and they end up in this farmhouse, um, speaking with a couple, and it's like the elderly, I think her name's Arlene, has become the
Yeah.
actual zombified uh,
Yes.
a reviver, which we hadn't seen to that point. Everyone else is totally normal when they come back, and Arlene, has all the zombie hallmarks, and she attacks and kills her own daughter, her adult daughter, and then she's gonna kill Dana, the police officer, the protagonist, and out of nowhere, oh, that's it. She um we think she kills M at first. So
Yes.
M's like stabbed in the stomach,
Yes.
torn up, and she goes down out of off screen. And then we think Dana's about to be killed. She's a few inches away from, ripping her head off. And M jumps up and chops off this zombified Arlene, chops her head off with a shovel, I think, or something like that.
Looked like
Uh,
a scythe, like
Oh
a Grim
yeah, a
Reaper.
Sith. Yeah, right,
Sith.
right. Yeah, a Sith. And then we realize that, yeah, oh, her wound has healed and she's jumped up and she's fine. And that's when we find out that she's a reviver. Um,
I was gonna say, I think she died before that.
yeah. Oh
Because
yeah.
she says, but I think she died before her sister found her on the bench because she says,
Oh,
"Don't tell dad," which means
oh,
at some point she knew that
she was
she
a
was a
reviver.
reviver.
You're right.
And I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
know
know
if
when.
she
Well, because she couldn't have died then when Arlene the zombie killed her, because that the period of I thought the period of revivers is over. Am I mistaken? I know there was a beginning point
I
because the whole point was the one old lady was like,
Yes.
she dug
She
her,
wanted her
you
husband.
don't want her husband back, but he died a day before this revival stuff
Yes.
started, so he was just dead.
Let's see.
And
Yeah.
so I guess we're fuzzy on, do they still come back if they die to, you know what I mean, like from this moment forward? I
Right.
thought it was just a period of time, but maybe we
Trying
get
to
into that
see.
more.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I would probably I would continue to watch it.
yeah, like I said, it's in large part police procedural, which isn't necessarily my jam. I'm not a Law and Order guy. I'm not anything like that, but there is something else going on here that propels the plot and keeps me interested. It's the horror element, it's the
Mhm.
supernatural horror element. Um, and I want to know what's gonna how that. I mean, how far did I get? I think we got my wife Dre and I got a season and a half into the leftovers, but she was mostly watching because Justin Thoreau had a full back piece and took his
Oh
shirt off a
yeah.
lot, right?
Yeah.
So it lost our interest. And this also reminds me, we did an earlier Prime Cuts episode that Jazzjit suggested. That was called oh man, I'm gonna botch the name. Oh, it's called From. Okay, and
Oh
that was
yeah.
an. Did you? Okay, so we watched. Wait, were you on that episode? I don't think you.
I was not.
Yeah, so it's similar thing, which is that I watched the first episode and I liked the plot. The rough plot was these
Mhm.
family traveling through a small town. Um, get stuck in the small town. They try to leave, and it's sort of like a Twilight Zone episode where every time they drive out of one road, they circle, come in. The next thing you know, they're back in
Yeah.
the same town.
Yep.
So you have to figure out what's going on. I'm like, oh, that's great. But Jazz was like, no, this quickly. I think I couldn't even get through episode 2. Like this quickly devolves into one of those Walking Dead type things where the plot
Mhm.
isn't the plot anymore. It's just like a soap opera now. So
Yeah.
I could see this ending up that way, and I don't know what their plan is to get, you know, if it's like I assume like everything, this is like they're planning for multiple seasons depending on how much
Yeah.
revenue they generate and what their
Yeah.
viewership is. But if this were a one-off season, I think it would be awesome. I can see myself tuning out at some point
Mhm.
once I realize that we're going to devolve into Dana's
Typical.
fucking
Yeah.
being a single mom drunk, cop who doesn't know
Yep.
what she's doing. But I want to know the conceit, the conceit will drive it a little bit, which is what's going on. And if they get zombified, if they all end up like Arlene, I think I could definitely be into that. Because the more gore, the better. They had some good gore. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about that. Like, like,
The teeth though, the teeth killed me. Oh god,
oh,
anything with teeth. Anytime a kid at school
oh.
like loses a tooth or something, I'm like, oh, get away, get
And
away.
what Jeannie's talking
Oh
about is the teeth are falling out, and for the reviver, so typically, so if a reviver, say a person dies in a fire and they're horribly disfigured and they're burnt, they come back, they are still disfigured, their skin still looks like Freddy Krueger, but they're operating normally as if before they passed. For some reason, when that woman lost her teeth and she's a reviver, they keep regenerating.
yeah.
The teeth keep coming back. I think it has to do with that healing power of you can't get stabbed, you
Yes.
can't get hurt. So it is
Yes.
fucking repugnant. Really cool. There's
Oh
money there. I mean, I didn't look it up. We don't do a ton of research for Prime Cuts, but there's a ton of money behind this. Like, this is not
yeah.
like a low budget shoestring budget
Yeah.
deal.
For
This was
sure.
supposed to be a real show. I think I think it's on Sci-Fi Network as well as Peacock. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm looking at the wiki page, which has a lot of spoiler alerts, but it's anyone who died within a 2 week period
the two
suddenly
week.
resurrects without explanation. And the second episode goes into M figuring out that she's a reviver.
Oh, is that right? Maybe we didn't. Okay, right.
Because
And
I'm reading the synopsis for the second episode, and it says that in flashback, M resurrects on revival day by a waterfall, but is unaware how she got there, and that's when she discovers. So yeah, she
well, I
knew
mean,
going in there, like she knew going in there that she was a reviver. That was a reveal for us. but
And
she had
so
died during those 2 weeks.
And so there's no way, I mean, unless we get thrown a curveball, which would make the show better if they do throw us a curveball, is that like we know that there must be a way to reverse engineer this, right? Like otherwise, like for these revivers to become normal again, whatever that means, right? Because
Yeah.
we wouldn't have M, who's one of the main characters. We wouldn't have her be a reviver if they're all going to turn into zombies.
Right.
I would imagine. I mean, if they swerve us, that'd be great. I think that would make it better. But I don't
Yeah.
have any idea what the source material says from the comic book. But it's got to be that way. I think it was like, well, I don't know. I guess Walking Dead, the first or second season, third season, first season, I think, and they were looking to go to CDC headquarters in Atlanta, right? Um, and so that whole first season is really about finding the cure to like unfuck things.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I think the center blows up at the end of the first season, so that's out. I just wonder how they move this. They're gonna have to, I
Yeah.
don't know if Arlene she can't be a one off. You're gonna have to have the zombie. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to have them be zombified to kill people, otherwise you have no show. So
Right.
they're gonna start turning, or they're gonna have irregularities or abnormalities that are gonna you're gonna
Yes.
be able to detect.
Somebody is going to have those abnormal, like somebody is going to turn, like, why did the old woman Arlene, how did she become violent?
Right. And I assume Dr. Ibrahim Ramin will be, looking into that.
Yes.
There's also a little bit of True Detective. What was the latest True Detective
The one
season?
in Alaska.
The one in Alaska. It
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of that with the scientists and the frozen people and how are they
Yep.
coming back. The whole thing is about like what's going on with them. How do we
Yeah.
scientifically, deconstruct this and figure it out? I feel like that's going to be a large part of it. They're going to have to keep the plot moving though. We can't do too much of this day-to-day drama with Dana, because I'm like you, like, I mean, it's enough to interest me, but I don't want it to end up like a soap opera
Yeah.
that way. Like I don't want to do a whole, there is something maybe not too likable about her.
Yeah.
Like not the character, the actress,
Yes. I don't know if it was like her acting. It was the same thing with the character of her dad. I just felt they were too, like, I don't know, flat or something. Like, I didn't, why
Here
would
you
I
go.
care
So
about
so
them?
right. So Dana, who you're talking about, is Melanie Scrofano. She's a Canadian. I mean, we may have found the problem here. She's Canadian, right
Oh,
off
well,
the
there you
bat.
go.
Canadian actress. She's known for the Crave comedy series Letterkenny.
Oh,
Letterkenny.
okay. Letterkenny. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. And what else was she on? Fantasy drama series, The Listener. Um, yeah. I mean, she's a working actress. She's been in her fair share of stuff. But yeah, something about her. It's a little off-putting,
Yeah.
which
I
is
was just
probably
really
sexist, but you're saying
annoyed.
it. So,
Like, yeah.
what about M?
I,
Did you like M?
I did. I did. I
Yeah.
think she had a much more interesting backstory. Like, I wanted to know more about her. With Dana, I'm like, yep, okay.
What could they tell us about
Single
Dana
mom,
that's going to make
oldest
it?
oldest
Yeah,
daughter, clearly, has got the whole. But yeah, but
like
M,
what?
I
Like,
definitely.
well, M has problems, and you want to be like, why does she have problems? What's going on with
Right,
her?
right.
What's Dana's just like, I don't know. She eats donuts. That's a neat
Yeah,
thing to
that's
put
her
in
quirk.
there. Like
Okay.
that's her quirk, is that she eats fucking sweets. So I don't know. We're bashing it, but it was fun. I don't know. I was saying like I would endorse it. Uh, I guess we don't do meat cleavers. We do
Machetes.
machetes for the prime cuts. I mean, I don't know, a 2.5, probably 2.5
Yeah,
machetes from me, right around
yeah.
there.
I would probably. I kind of want to watch a few more episodes to see how
Yeah.
much I can get into it. Although I just read the synopsis on Wikipedia, so maybe
And you
I can
almost
just read
feel
it.
like you're fine with
Right. I'm
it.
like, oh, okay. Well, that explains it.
I'm going to
Um,
come back because like it's on Peacock and it's a series, and I
yeah,
don't have many series that I watch. I'm
yeah.
pretty random with the movies.
And it's one that's like released weekly, which is a
Yeah.
format, we're used to from growing up. That's how,
Yep.
back in our day, that's how shows were.
You
You had
did
to
you
wait a week.
You had to wait.
you
You had
know,
to
which
yell at your sister and say, "You're missing it. The commercial's back."
yes, the commercial's
Um,
back. It's back on. Which a lot of times now they don't really do that, right? They'll release whole seasons of
yeah,
even
but
original
I'm not.
stuff.
But I'm not like you. I know you binge watch. I will actually, because I'm so stuck on what we grew up with. Even if
Hmm.
it's out there, I like only do like one season a week or something.
Yeah,
I'll like allocate myself to that.
yeah,
So I was going to do that slowly for this one anyway, but
yeah,
typically I don't have many shows that I can. I know that there are a couple on the horizon this summer. I think one of them is a Tremors series from the original
yeah.
movie. They're going to do the Tremors series.
Oh,
And
nice.
then there is the, is it, is it like Alien Earth or something like that? I think there's an Aliens. No, I do not want to update my software. Let's see. I don't know why I'm getting, because I have so few shows. As Tremors is coming out in August on Netflix,
Okay.
and Alien Earth, yeah, Alien Earth, which is a series coming out sometime this summer on Hulu, which is from the Aliens franchise, or at least in that universe. So there's only a handful of things. So Revival's going to have my attention at least for a bit until it turns into a little bit of a mess. I'll
Yeah.
take it. But so what did you give it? You get how many machetes? You said 2.5 also?
Yeah, I'll do two. I'll give it a two.
God, I feel blah, but I was much more excited about this when I watched the first episode. It has a lot of promise. Maybe just,
Yeah,
I mean, I'd suggest people at least watch the first episode and see where it
I
takes
would
them.
agree.
Do not
I would
let the
agree.
2.5 machetes from each of us fool you. It's worth at least one watch to get started. But
I definitely got into it as it moved forward. It made me kind of intrigued a little bit more. But when it first started, I was like, okay,
I mean, the
I've
directing
seen
is
these before.
competent, the acting
Yeah,
is competent. Um, it's one of those things though that could be sort of mired in mediocrity if they don't give us some good, if they don't give us the payoff with what this is. They cannot drag out what the revival is or how it happened. I
yeah,
think you're better off actually halfway through the first season telling us what it is and let us know
right,
if there's some real depth to the series at that point, right? If there,
yeah,
because if the whole show is based on a singular conceit that you're not going to reveal, it's not going to work. You can only do that so
yeah.
long. You got to give people the payoff. But
Maybe it's like Pet Cemetery, but only during a full moon when the ground is ripe or something.
right. If you're in Wisconsin,
If
I
you're in
think that's the rule.
Wisconsin,
But all right, that's all we got for this week. You have anything else, Jeannie?
I don't know.
All right, we're going to keep it short and sweet like we always do on Prime Cuts. We will see you next time. Thanks once again for joining us.